Rightio, I'll tell you what, we're ready for sidecars, or I'm going to say slide cars, with a bit of a greasy track out there. So I've just been informed by Neville Nickerson, who's joined me, that I didn't catch up with that information, but the qualifying times for this morning stay for today, and I'm guessing going to stay for tomorrow as well. So a bit of adhesion trouble out there. Do you really think it's much of a problem at the moment there, Neville?
No, it'd be great fun, man. I'd love to be out there in that.
You've just been out there on number 95. How was that on the solo in the wet?
Yeah, it was all right. Sort of just come in sort of 2/3 of the way through the race, so yeah, it makes you a bit nervous towards the end. But yeah, still grip was okay.
All right, we've got a mixture of front exit and rear exit sidecars, and the answer's pretty simple. You can see the two lead bikes coming out of the hairpin, the 850 Norton Commando and the 69 Norton of Mark Halls in second spot there. The passengers are hanging out behind the sidecar wheel, whereas we go back to a lot of the others and they're actually getting out in front. That's the difference between front exit and rear exit, and I think it changed about in the 1970s when things were getting a bit quicker and the passenger couldn't get across from the back into the deck, then forward about a metre, and then back out the side on the left-handers, and then back in there, although they did in those days still have left and right-hand chairs at the same time, then back and then across, so they just were going side to side. And I've been on a front exit sidecar, and I tell you what, I've won 3 New Zealand championships on modern rear exit sidecars. The front exit ones are just a whole new level of energy required, different mindset, but the battle is on again between these two lead bikes, 850 Robert Hood and Mark Thompson from Wanganui, and 69 Mark Halls and Darren Prentice. Mark from Auckland, Darren's from the Taranaki region, and this is a battle that was continuing on from last time, and a lot of the other classic races over the series. Back to third, fourth and fifth, and a huge tight field there. These boys are getting to grips with that little 281 machine. It was the new team there with Smithy's old bike.
380, isn't it? 380,
sorry, yeah. 380, yep. Yeah, scrutiny didn't pick up that the numbers are not much bigger than a letterbox number. But anyway, they're in fourth spot there. They're in fourth spot, and they're looking around to go around the outside of Darren Partey and Lynn Herring there on the BMW. That battle's coming into the hairpin there, and I think that's number 250 there, the Yamaha from Wanganui, with Brian Greenless doing the passengering for Peter Dowman on the Yamaha XS650. So look at the legs that BMW's got down the centre straight there. Shaft drive machine, and how much I like these BMWs. Of course, at the time they were leaders in the World Championship in the 50s and the 60s, definitely in the 60s and that, and they seem to have then been taken over by other bikes, but there's a lot of meat in those engines to improve them, isn't there?
Yeah, those little 500 Rennsport BMW twins, and that were successful right from the early 50s right through until the pretty much late 60s, late 60s really.
Oh, we got a battle going out in the front, and it's a change of position coming up into turn one. Mark Halls has taken the inside line into tyre. Oh, yep. What happened there, Neville?
They just got it. I think he might have outbraked himself somehow.
Longer line there for the Wanganui machine, the 850. It's around the outside trying to, but that 850 just got the drive on the inside. This is a great sidecar battle. Number 850 versus 69, the Wanganui team versus the Auckland Taranaki team. The Wanganui team on the silver and black machine, the 850 machine, and the Halls Prentice machine, the CTR, I think. Is this a CTR, Gr3R2 racing machine? We have to call it as that. In second spot, got the legs down the centre straight. We're going to look back to this battle for third and fourth between 457 and 280, and that's coming to you through the S's there. Boys getting to grips with it. The 280 machine there, 380 machine, sorry, Dave Black and Dan Frazen. Do you know if they've had much experience on sidecars as yet?
Yeah, well, Dan, he got introduced with sidecar racing by my daughter in Australia, and he did a little bit over there in classics. I don't think he's been on a modern one as such, but Dave was also now racing a 1300 Hayabusa that belonged to Phil Sowersby, and I think Dan's going to be doing some swinging on that as well.
That beast comes out again. That's one of the weapons. Phil Sowersby, yeah, he's a legend back from the Marlborough Series days and won a New Zealand championship back in those days. and then come out in the late 90s, early 2000s and had another go there, parked the bike up and somebody else took it over, and it's good to see that'll be back out on the track. Looking for the lead bikes. They've now done another lap and they're going through the infield. Mark Halls has gone through into the front there and got about an 80-metre lead there. So they've got a substantial part of the lap. So we're going to go back to third place. Darren Partey and Lynn Herring on the 457 machine, no fairing, followed by 380 and then 250. The Yamaha there. First of the high wheelers there, 140. 140, and that's Paul Arnott. And Chris Wright there from Gisborne on the Norton sidecar. I think Paul Arnott's riding a solo as well. And yeah, what size wheels are these high wheelers running? Well, they're not called high wheelers. What's the correct name for them?
Big sitters.
Big sitters.
Yeah.
Big sitters, mate. If I Google that, I bet I won't come up with sidecars. I'll probably come up with the big girls and nine-eye. Sorry, back to it.
Wheels are generally 18-inch. Some of them have got 16s. Sidecar wheels sort of 12s or 10s.
So actually we're divided in classes here out on the track at the moment. We're going for post-classic and pre-72 or something like that. Do you know?
Post-classic and pre-63.
Pre-63, that's the one. So the pre-63 will have drum brakes.
Yeah.
There it is. Mark Halls goes through and takes the checkered flag with Darren Prentice doing the swinging there. Darren, an experienced rider from New Zealand Superbike Championships as well. He's won races. I think his first one he won was down in Timaru with the current New Zealand champion Pete the Pirate. It's about 5 years ago. And yeah, good to see him back at the track. He's doing a bit of stock car racing in second place, 850, Robert Hood and Mark Thompson. We're looking out for that battle for third place down around the big... In fact, look at the battle there. The Triumph goes round, the 380 machine goes round the outside there, coming onto the front straight. They've been foxing all the way through and knowing they could get through ahead of Darren Partey and Lynn Herring. Partey and Herring got the legs, but not enough to take it. That's a good, solid third place for 380 there, and 457 there. Darren Partey and Lynn Herring in fourth spot. Brian Greenis, Peter Dowman there takes fifth spot with Paul Arnott and Chris Wright there in sixth spot. 244 hasn't got a mention yet. Bruce Roberts and Jim Bilby. Ahead of them was Artie Roberts, and who's Artie Roberts' passenger? Michael Dowman as well. So that's I've just got 3 bits of paper here. They're in 8th spot. Number 9, Les Sargent. Has Les Sargent gone through? In fact, Les Sargent has gone through with paperwork, 222. Sam Hitchman there, local boys fielding on the 1975 BMW R100. Just to round off the field, I think this has got to be number 77 coming through. Yes, indeed, it is number 77, and that is Peter Wilmot and Robbo Robinson. Can't see any sidecars back out there. Oh, yes, there is indeed. They were hidden behind the tyre wall. Last one coming through, 650, new team to the game, Carl Burns and Roddy Pokinghorn on the XS650 Yamaha sidecars. Done and dusted, folks. Thanks, Neville.